everybody, welcome to another Star Wars Black Series review here at the Mo2 Classics channel, doing these for the StarWarsBlackSeries.net site. This is another solo review. Blaze has had a lot of schoolwork stuff going on lately, and we haven't had a whole lot of time to do reviews, and he's mostly interested in doing the Batman reviews, so I figured I'd knock out a couple of these Black Series reviews to get kind of caught up on this line, since the latest wave is already hitting, and they showed a bunch of new things at Toy Fair. Figured it's probably best to get caught up a little bit, and then once we're more steady with the line, we can hopefully go back to the dual reviews. But for now, you just get me. Today we're taking a look at the number 5 figure, Princess Leia slave outfit, from the second wave of figures. They've kind of broken the waves into years, so this is the 2013 Wave 2, which I'd still would be overall Wave 2, but now that we're into 2014, they're numbering the waves again, starting over with 1, but to me it just makes more sense just to keep calling them each wave in sequence. Either way though, like I said, this is Wave 2. Same packaging we've seen from the first wave of figures. We've got the Star Wars Black Series logo here, the Princess Leia image here, number 5 Princess Leia slave outfit down here. And what's interesting here is they've actually put slave outfit in parentheses, whereas in the first wave Luke, it didn't say X-Wing outfit or anything below that, it just said Luke Skywalker. It's kind of nice that they've given designation here as to the outfits for the numbering of the figures, so that way if you're just looking at a list or something, having these little disclaimers in parentheses kind of helps. The figure is enclosed in this bubble that slides into the box. It's open all around here and open along the side, so you can get a view of the figure's side easily. Later on, they're going to actually bring this bubble up more for larger characters like Chewbacca. So we're going to lose a little bit of this design work, maybe. I don't know exactly how we're going to do that yet. This has the orange piping, whereas the 2014 waves, after the Luke Bespin wave, will have blue piping along the back. At the top of the box, we have the Star Wars Black Series logo again, and a shot of the Princess Leia headshot once again. And that easily opens, so you can pull the tray out, take your figure out, put it back in. It's really collector-friendly packaging, which I really enjoy. We've got a plain black panel over here. On the back of the package, we've got the muted shot of Princess Leia from the film from Jabba's sail barge. Number 5 Princess Leia slave outfit, the piping, the Star Wars logo. We've got a little tiny bit about the character here, and it says, dressed as one of Jabba the Hutt's slaves, Princess Leia escapes from the Hutt's sail barge at the pit of Carkoon. And then we've got a quote from Leia, which says, "Come on, we gotta get out of here." One more time from the front. Now, it's kind of interesting to me that they went with Slave Leia for a first release figure, in that Slave Leia wasn't one of the figures released in the vintage line. And it was a really big deal when it was coming out in the 90s line. It was like such a big deal that they were finally doing a Slave Leia. To be the inaugural figure in this line of Leia, to go Slave Leia right off the bat, is a little strange to me when the first figure first hit, but now it makes more sense now that we know that Jabba is coming, because this figure can be posed with Jabba, as we're about to see, now that we're going to take her out of the box. Now we've got her out of the box, let's take a look at her accessories, her articulation, those kind of things. Accessory-wise, she's one of the lighter figures of this wave. When you're going up, the entire wave consists of her, Han Solo, Boba Fett, and Greedo. Han and Greedo are pretty loaded down with accessories, and they're sort of bigger figures. Leia is a pretty small figure due to her height in in real life, Carrie Fisher's height, but she's also kind of light on accessories, but that's kind of understandable since she didn't have a lot going on when this scene was taking place. She comes with this Electro Staff type thing. This one's kind of curved right out of the box. I'm sure heating this up under hot water or something like that would bend it back straight. I don't know if this is supposed to be her Bausch staff, but if so, it's pretty inaccurate. It's sort of a silvery gold type color. The end of it is not the same as the Bausch staff. I don't think the sight area is the same as the Bausch staff, so I'm not really sure what they're shooting at, what they're shooting for here. It's also very short to be Bausch's staff, so I don't know what they were going with this one, or if it was just kind of a pack-in accessory just to throw in something, or what. It almost seems like it's 3 3/4 scale compared to what it should be if it's indeed supposed to be the Leia Bausch staff. The other one is this Vibro Axe, and this is pretty cool. This is the one that she took from one of the skiff guards. It's got a nice silver paint app on the blade area, And it's just a nice sculpt overall. It feels pretty sturdy. And it does seem like it's the right scale. She can grip it with both hands, do the articulation in her wrists. The other accessory is actually one that's on her. If you pop off her head, this chain, the plastic chain piece, actually can come off. I'm not going to do that in the video just because I'd probably knock something over trying to do that, but it does come off. So you can display her with the chain or without the chain. The figure itself, the sculpt is pretty nice overall. Let me spin it all the way around here so you can get a look at it from all angles. I think from the side, you get a little more look, or a better look at what it's going for, the sculpt wise and the body type and things like that. It looks better from the side than it does dead on. I don't know, there's something proportion wise, it just doesn't look as good front on as it does from the side. Take it all the way around here. Articulation wise, she's got, I'm going to start at the feet and work my way up. The ankles, she's got a swivel and a hinge. So they hinge up and down and they swivel all around. A double knee joint, a swivel at the top of the thigh, a hip that swings both out and up and down. She's got a mid-torso joint that's kind of hidden by the bathing suit area, and that joint's pretty nice. It's really well hidden, which is a advantage on a figure like this. It's a lot of just flesh, so it's tough to hide these joints within there. The shoulder joint swivels and pivots in and out. It's not really a ball joint, like a ball and socket joint. It's the kind where it has like a double joint, where it turns and then swivels out on a, I don't know how to describe it exactly, but I hate calling something like that a ball joint because it's not an actual ball. Same with the wrist. It swivels and hinges, and then I'm sorry, that's the elbow. Swivels and then hinges, and then the wrist swivels and hinges. The wrist has two different joints. The right hand goes up and down like that, and the left hand goes in and out like that. The head, though, is a ball joint. It's just popped right on that a stem, and it just has free range. The skirt piece is made of material so that she can do like laying down poses, and I pulled off a couple of those in the pictures. If you want to hit the info section of this video, you'll get a link to pictures and you can see her kind of in a laying down pose. It's not the best, but at least thanks to the soft skirt piece, she can do that. And again, since Jabba's coming, that's probably one of the reasons they released this figure this early on, to go with Jabba. And that soft goods piece makes it possible to kind of pull off those poses. Sculpt-wise, with the articulation, like I said before, it's kind of tough to hide all these joints because she has really not much in the way of clothes on. So these joints can be a little bit ugly. It's almost like there's like flesh hanging over her shoulder or her elbows and things like that to kind of hide that joint. But there's not really a whole lot you can do with this kind of character to hide those joints. Somebody like Luke, which we'll bring out, he's got all these folds and creases in his outfit that make it easy to hide joints. It's not the same thing with Slave Leia. You just don't have that same advantage. Scale-wise, I think she's well done. A lot of people complain that this figure is short, but Carrie Fisher was only 5'1", if I remember right. So the scale is pretty accurate. Let me pull back so you can see all the Han. I think Harrison Ford was 6'1", and I think she was 5'1". So scale-wise, it's pretty dead on. As far as the likeness goes, it's not the greatest Carrie Fisher likeness. I think that the paint job goes a long way towards making or breaking it. So finding a really good paint job can make the difference between this Leia looking bad in the face to being a passable Carrie Fisher likeness. One thing that's interesting to note is that the Han from this wave, his skin is molded in flesh tone, whereas the Luke in the original wave had painted flesh tone. The Leia does the same thing as the Luke, and she actually has painted flesh tone instead of being molded in that flesh tone plastic. And at first I was kind of against that, but I think it works better on that Luke than I thought it was going to, and I'm actually a little bit more disappointed in the Han because it has just sort of a plasticky feel. So I'm glad that the Leia has the painted skin because it doesn't have quite that plasticky feel. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to cover on this. So the goods and the bads of it. It's good that it has a lot of articulation, so you can pull off the laying down pose for when Jabba does hit. The lightness may not be the best. the joints can get a little ugly due to the articulation. There's some fraying along the edges of the skirt, which is never a good thing. The material on the skirt should have been better. But it is cool that we're getting a look that took so long to come out originally right off the bat in this line. I think that is kind of neat. Of course, I do want a regular Leia, Leia Hoth being my most wanted Leia, but it is cool that we're getting this Leia really quickly in the line when there was such a build up to it the last time around. I think that about covers everything on the figure. Again, hit the info section if you're watching this on YouTube to go to StarWarsBlackSeries.net, and you can check out pictures of this figure along with other figures and scale and action shots and all that stuff. Stay tuned to the channel. I'll be doing a few more of these solo Black Series reviews before we jump back into the line currently, and Blaze and I can start really, keeping up with the line. I guess that's about it, and see you guys next time.